I hope you guys aren't too sleepy on me, right? It's after lunch, so everybody had a good snooze already? We're good? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the uncomfortable pieces out of the way. I'm a bit country, and it's going to come out, okay? She read in the bio, I'm originally from Mississippi, and now I live in southern Louisiana. So there's a lot of country and Cajun mixed up here, so we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way. So if you hear a y'all or, something of that nature through the speech, we already know, okay? I gave you the precursor. Is that all right? Good. So I do want to do a survey of the room. You've heard my bio, you know everything about me, so I don't need to go back through that in too many details, but I want to know who's like me in the room. Any wives in the room? Oh, wow, a lot of wives. Okay. Any moms in the room? Oh, whoa, a lot of moms. What about business owners? How many business owners do we have in the room? Okay, just a few. Now raise your hand back if you meet all three. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'll be talking to a few of you. Doesn't mean that the rest of you are disqualified, okay? Okay. So as she read in the bio there, me and my husband, for some reason, jumped off into this big leap of entrepreneurship in 2015. Now, we've had small businesses pretty much all my life. I watched my dad be an entrepreneur from a young child. He always had some type of business. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I never knew specifically what I wanted to do. So when my husband got this opportunity to open up the insurance agency in New Orleans, I was like, okay, great, perfect opportunity for me to quit my job. My husband was like, are you sure you want to quit your job? Like, this is all of the money, all the benefits, like, gone. I'm like, yes, this is what I want to do. Thank God I did, because, he is not organized. So we probably wouldn't have a business right now if I didn't. But as I took that leap, things kind of got a bit dark. Again, I am a wife, I am a mom, I am a business owner. And as she mentioned there, just 4 weeks after having our second daughter, I literally, jumped off into this thing. So dates here, August the 28th, I had our second daughter, and then we opened our agency on October the 1st. So no window. Talk about no recovery time there. Went straight into the office with him and literally worked day in, day out, day in, day out. Give you a picture here. I had a breast pump on one side, baby on the other, headphone set, answering the phones. Like, it was going, okay? This is all we had. Like, I needed to make sure that our family was going to sustain this big transition that we had. And I did that for the betterment of about a year. And if you can imagine, as a mom, forget about the rest of it, that can be pretty stressful, right? Anybody know what it's like to breastfeed a kid forever and a day and work at the same time? And I don't know about here, but in the U.S., they think it's custom to recover in 6 weeks after having a baby. I'm thinking, yeah, more like 16 years. So I'm doing all of this, and I'm paying attention to the business goals, and I am a fitness fanatic. So, I entered back in the gym as quickly as I could. What I didn't realize, though, is that it was really important for me to keep up my mental and emotional state. I left those to the side, like just gone. Didn't even think about them. And I was hitting business goals. We were performing really high. Like we were one of the top 5 agencies in our market area, our first year in business. And so that's pretty huge for what we do. And then, of course, on the fitness side, I had whipped myself back into shape. Everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm not eating cheeseburgers anymore. That's pretty much it. But after having a kid, I wanted to make sure that my body was intact, but I was not paying attention to my relationship. I was not being the best mom that I could potentially be. And so for me, that took me into a bad mental and emotional state. So much so that I had to pretty much eject from life. Like, I literally did not go to our office for 21 days. I sat in a space, and I just tried to figure out, Crystal, who are you? What do you want to do? And why are you in this place? I had to get answers. I had to understand why I had gotten to this dark place so quickly. And when I came out of it, I realized in those 21 days that I had an amazing support system, mostly women, that helped me to come through that. And not only that, I realized that I needed to establish some boundaries. Does anybody have boundaries in here? You probably don't if you're all 3 or 4. Okay, we got a couple people that got some boundaries. Great, you're some good people. So in this process, I developed what I call my 5 core values, and I'll give them to you, and I hope that you write them down because I do believe that there's power in words. But my first core value in this process that I learned was my faith. I had to discover who I was and whose I was. And that was so important to me, so I spent a lot of time in prayer, in meditation, things of that nature, just trying to discover who Crystal was. Because before all of this, the accolades were great. I had a great career before we were, entrepreneurs. It was great being a wife, great being a business owner, but I wasn't necessarily sure who I was at that particular time, and I never took time out to figure that out. And so after I did that piece, believe it or not, ladies, fitness is my second F. So I had faith and then I had fitness. And so that's mostly what I'm here to talk to you guys, you ladies, about today, is because for me, fit life balance is so important. How many of you guys actually work out regularly? Oh, right, this is beautiful. I love Canada. In the U.S., it's probably about 2 people that raise their hands for this. So in the fitness piece, believe it or not, I do fitness at about 4:30 a.m. in the morning. I know, gasp. So I do have a routine. Every morning I'm up at about 4. I'm out of the house no later than, say 4:30 to make it to the gym. I'm there working out from anywhere from 4:30 to 6 a.m. every morning. Now this is time for me. This is crystal time. And a lot of time, women, we just don't think that that's okay. Like, you don't think that it's okay to leave your 2 toddlers in the bed and your husband there in this nice warm bed and just go and work out. And for me, working out is my happy place. And so even though my F is fitness, yours may be something else. But I understood that I needed that fitness piece to find balance in my life. More so, I needed that fitness piece to happen before anything else happened in my day. And when I talk to my clients on a regular basis, when I say 4 a.m., they all gasp. And I'm not saying that you have to do it at 4 a.m., but I am saying that you do have to find what your happy place is. And just because mine is fitness doesn't mean it has to be yours, but you need to find something that puts you first, right? And so as a woman, I realized in my dark place for those 21 days, I had all these women that were coming to me and helping me and doing these things for me. And I realized that they had become my support system. They had made themselves available to me, even if they weren't doing things for themselves. And so the reason why I put fitness first is because I said, well, all these people are helping me, but at one point in time, I'm sure I helped them with something. But as women, how many times do we say, I'm going to do me first? Does anybody else put themselves before their kids and their husband and their businesses? Look at how low the number is now. That's the reason why I do it at 4 o'clock in the morning. If I gave you my schedule, 4 a.m., I'm up. It's 4:30, I'm going to the gym. I get back about 6:15, 6:30. I'm taking a shower. I'm getting the kids ready for school. I'm cooking breakfast. We have a 40-minute commute to my office. Of course, we got to drop the kids off to school first. And then, of course, we're going to work about 8 or so hours at the office. I'm going to commute back another 40 minutes. I'm going to pick up the kids. I'm going to fix dinner. And then I'm going to do homework. I'm going to do bath time. Boom, bedtime. If I don't do 4 a.m., and so that's why I asked who has boundaries. My boundary is don't talk to me between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. Now, it's likely they won't anyway because they're going to be asleep. But everybody knows, like, I schedule my flights around my gym time. My husband, if he has to go out of town, I'm like, babe, don't schedule anything that leaves before 7 a.m. I need my gym time. Like, this is what I know makes me be a better wife, a better mom, a better business owner. And I identified that thing. And so, of course, I'm the type of person that challenges every person that I meet. And so I'm here today basically to challenge you, to find what that F is for you. Now, mine is fitness. Now, after fitness is family. And I know you're probably thinking this woman is out of her mind because she put fitness before her family. And I'm saying I'm out of my mind if fitness doesn't come before my family. And so I've identified what works for me in what areas. And the other reason why fitness is before my family, I hope you wrote the third F down. You wrote it down, right? Family? Okay, great. The other reason why fitness is before family is because I understand that it makes me be better for them. And so I had to prioritize it that way so that they don't get left out or so that they get the best parts of me. When I work out in the morning, I'm telling you, I come back powered and charged up and ready to go for the day. I mean, I'm hitting numbers at the office. It's beautiful. My husband gets a nice, kiss before even though we leave and go back to the same place. We commute in 2 different cars, believe it or not. But it's, hey, babe, love you, see you in a few minutes. Instead of, oh, my God, I can't stand you right now. So everybody gets a better part of Crystal because I've prioritized what I do. Now, of course, after family is finances because, money is right next door to oxygen. But it's not as important as my family. And so even though I do, believe that we should keep our finances in order, I do think there is an order to life. And so for me, my 4th F is finances. I hope you guys wrote that down. And then last but not least, the thing I know that most of you don't do, fun. Look at the laughs. Is this your fun for the week? This is what it was? Okay, this is great. I love it. It's been a great event so far, but I need you to add another event for fun on your list, okay? It's very important, As women, it's, even being in a group collective like this, with like-minded women, it's really great. It's empowering. But at the same time, we want to do things to just kind of, allow us to just lay back and breathe and, take in some fresh air and let our hair down, even though mine is now gone. But as women, we need that time. And it has to be away from your family. It has to be away from your spouse. It has to be away from the kids. And you can find a way to do all of that. And one of my talks, not this one in particular, but in one of my talks I talk about how to say no without the guilt. Do any of you guys feel guilty about saying no to your kids? Look at this. What about to your husband? I don't have a problem saying no to my husband. Oh, it's like 2 hands went up in the back. Okay, great. Now, big ticker. How many of you can say no to your careers, to your businesses, to your bosses? Only a few. There is power in no. And I learned a long time ago that no is a complete sentence. Yep, it is. You don't owe anybody an explanation. Which is why when I talk and I hear people gasp about my 4 o'clock in the morning workouts and how I put fitness before my family, whatever, I don't care. It's my life and I get to live it the way that I want. And I say no if you ask me, can I go to this place with you, or can I go to and do this activity for you? If it doesn't fit in my 5 core values, my answer is no. See, fit life balance is not about time management. It's about boundary management. And if you have them, then you can make sure that nobody crosses them. That's even the people that care about us the most. What I'm doing is I'm protecting myself, even from, my husband and from my kids and from my job. I'm making sure that I'm the best version of Crystal at all times. And I'm not saying that it's all about fitness, not at all. It's more so about making sure everything fits in. Because like I told you in the beginning, I don't have a problem with fitness. Like, literally, the gym is my life. I would cut off cable and lights to be able to go to the gym. So I understand, for me, that's the thing. That's not going to be the thing for everybody. But you have to determine what your boundary is and make sure that nobody crosses that thing so that all of you can be that fearless woman that you want to be. So that all of you can have those boundaries in place and make sure, that you are living your best possible life. But I'll guarantee you that it doesn't necessarily happen if we don't have the boundaries that we need in life to make sure that even when the husband means well, that he doesn't get on your nerves, right? Or even when the kids are running around. This is so funny. So the lady, we have a cleaning lady, and she came right before I left. The day before I left, she cleaned up the house. It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, I'm talking about awesome. And I brought my girls home, and my oldest daughter, she asked for a couple pineapples. And I was like, okay, great, whatever. So I'm on my laptop checking a couple of emails. My husband comes in, everything's fine. My little one then comes in with half a cup of pineapples. I'm like, I thought the other one had pineapples. I don't know, maybe I'm just too much into the email. So then the husband comes in, and he says, man, what's all this stuff all over the floor? I'm like, what? I go in the kitchen, and you know how when you waste something sticky, how your feet just... Now, mind you, I just paid somebody to clean the floors were just, it was like the little sparkle from the Mr. Clean commercials or something. Like, it was great. And I go in there, and I immediately go into this rant. I'm like, what happened? Like, why didn't you tell me you wasted pineapple juice all over the floor? I don't know. It was like nothing to her. Because, of course, she didn't write the check for the lady to pay, to clean the house. So, and my husband's like, oh, babe, it's okay. Here's what I realized. You want to know what I missed that day? Thursday morning, I did not go to the gym. Now, here she is, 5 years old. All that's important to her is pineapples and her iPad. Like, that's life. And here I am thinking about the money I just paid for the cleaning lady to come in, and now my floors are all sticky, and my shoes are stuck to the floor. All because I didn't go to the gym that morning. Now, for you, that might seem like it's real petty or it's real simple. I could have, had I went to, that next level of anger with my daughter, I could have made her think, man, I can't come to my mom for anything. Like, she's always upset all the time. She's always fussing all the time. I could have taken that to the wrong place. Now, I realized after the fact, I think I'm a little agitated. I wonder why I'm agitated. Oh, yeah, right. No gym this morning. I decided to sleep in. There's a reason for that, because I'm pretty disciplined. And I told Charla, today's what, Saturday? So last Thursday, I lost my father-in-law. Yeah. And it was very difficult. And my husband, he believes in what I do. He loves my mission and my vision for my brand. And I told him, I said, babe, I'm feeling this inkling like I should still go. And he said, okay, well, you should go. I said, okay, well, I'm going to email Charlotte back and tell her I'm coming. And so the reason I didn't go to the gym on Thursday was because my husband had just gotten back home. He had been at his father's house handling some last-minute items before he came back home. And so that was the first night that I had slept next to my husband since his father had passed. And so for me, having those boundaries in place mean a lot. Because even though fitness is first for me, I do understand that my family takes precedence over any and everything, right? And so that's the reason why I didn't get up that morning. And so I had to make sure that even though my schedule didn't go the way that I'm used to my schedule going, that I still maintain balance, right? That's what we have to recognize is, when to give, when to take away, when to give, when to take away. But managing to stay balanced throughout the way. Even so much so to understand when I get this inkling that I should still be here. The reason I'm here is because some of you in the audience are struggling with balance in one way, shape, form, or the other, and you needed to hear what it was that I had to say. And what I understand is that even though I lost my father-in-law, I heard clearly before I came here that death does not cancel an assignment. And I believe just that strongly in what it is that I do. And I want to make sure that I transfer that message to you today before I leave here, that you must find balance. Our time here is limited, and we want to make sure that we're making the best use of it. But if we're spending too much in one area and not the other, if business is so important for the mompreneur that she doesn't pay attention to her spouse, or if the kids are so important that you don't even see your husband anymore, or if you see the family but your business is falling apart, it's important that we recognize what we need when we need it. And the best way that we can do that is to set boundaries that mean something. Not to the people around you, but that means something to you specifically. And then hold yourself accountable to making sure that those boundaries stay in place. And if you can't do it alone, then of course you need to find women like the ones that are sitting right next to you. That's the perfect place to start. Because the one thing that I learned for sure in my 21 days of darkness was that even though I was experiencing everything that it was that I was experiencing, I still was open to help another woman. What was even greater, though, is that the women that were around me, they were supporting me like I had never seen before in my life. And so as I end today, I'll say this, and it's probably going to sound very contradicting. You probably won't do most of anything that I just told you to do. We're women, and that's what we do. We can consume all of this information. And we were built to be nurturers. Problem is, though, who taught you how to nurture yourself? I had a great mom. My mom is absolutely phenomenal. But she never sat me down and had a conversation about me taking care of me first. And as women, we know how to take care of everybody around us, which is why it's important, though, that you surround yourself with other women that are just like the ones that are in this room. Get yourself a group of women that can help you to stay accountable to the boundaries that you set for yourself. Because what I do know is that if you don't specifically do what I just told you to do today, the women around you will make sure that you do. That's just how it works. We're built to do it, and we nurture each other. So if you haven't heard anything that I've said today, I hope that you set some great boundaries for yourself. And then if you know that you suck at accountability, then make sure you surround yourself with people that are good at it. How about that? I hope you guys have enjoyed. Okay.